Hey, beautiful soul. Sonia B here with DR Holistic Killer, and we're getting into the prophetic message of the energies that we're dealing with at this current time. Some of these messages may resonate and some of them may not. So take the ones that do and leave the ones that do not, okay? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the message, okay? So I received the message that some of you guys will want to be mindful of balancing your emotions and also balancing with your non-emotions, okay? And I say all that to say that there's a point in time where let's just say that your emotions are appropriate, and then there's a point in time where your emotions, you have to take your emotions out of the equation. So know and understand that the Most High has taken us all through this spiritual training, trials, as people want to look at it. Some may look at it as like tribulations or whatever the case may be, but just know that it's part of the initiation, okay, of God is bringing us back to a place of where we were meant to be at, okay, his people, okay. So I say all that to say, again, some of you guys are going to be asked to balance your emotions with your non-emotions. There are going to be times where you may have to take your emotions out of the equations, okay. So that's one message, and keep that in mind, okay. The next message that I received was, I heard stay ready so you don't have to get ready, okay? So some of you guys, it's going to be a shift coming into the new year, and some of you guys could be experiencing this shift now. I keep getting the message of like there's some people who feel in a sense of nervousness, okay? Because they're nervous because they don't know what to expect at this time, okay? So just know that I just heard a second ago, thank you, Spirit. I just heard a second ago, when walking into the new year is like walking into a portal, or like walking into a new reality, walking to a new dimension, okay? And that's going to be different for different people, depending on where you are at on your journey, okay? The next message that I received was, hold on, y'all. Sorry about that. The next message that I received was, some of you guys should be mindful, because sometimes when we go through these different transits, basically what happens is sometimes, okay, let's just say if you're in a situation that you're going through a love situation, you're kind of on a fence of, do I stay in this relationship, do I leave this relationship? You have to know that sometimes these planetaries play a shift, okay? And when planetaries play the shift, you have to understand, especially like if we're in Libra season, if we are in Libra season, and you're a little on the fence, just know that if you're dealing with somebody, depending on what they have in their natal chart, so let's just say if they're a Libra or whatever, and we're in, let's just say Venus energy, in a sense, doing Libra season, let's just say that that energy that you feel for that person might heighten a little bit more, even though y'all might have been a little rocky or on the fence, on the edge, and not really sure what you wanted to do. So just know that sometimes what can basically happen is, if you're dealing with somebody with a Libra, depending on what soul lessons that you are also learning at the same time, what basically ends up happening is basically, that person could be teaching you a lesson. It could be like a, 1 minute it's non-emotions, the next minute it's plenty of emotions. And just know and understand that, it may seem like it's a lot of back and forth, but just know that the Most High have you going through that situation for a reason, okay? And the reason why he has you going through that situation for a reason is because he's trying to show you, look, these are the things that you don't want to accept. It's a lot of stop, go, no, no. So just the inconsistency, okay? But anyway, so just know that these planetary shifts can sometimes affect, our energies as well too, okay? So the next message I received was, be mindful, because some of you guys, I know that we are in this, I'm going to call it, let's just say that some of you guys are really key. God's chosen ones are really key to this whole dynamic, okay? You really are the one that really holds the power. And I say all that to say that, let's just say that there have been people who have been misusing your power, okay? And I say all that to say that because people have been misusing your power, it's almost like, they've been kind of using it against you, okay? So therefore, it has been situations where people had been kind of taking advantage of people and were very strategic about the things that they were doing in the sense that benefited them. But God is trying to vindicate his people right now, and he's trying to take what was rightfully theirs out of their hands and put it back into the hands of the people which they took it from, okay? The next message So I say all that to say, even down to something as simple as like your local grocery stores that you shop at, or even places that you go to shop, or things that you take and buy. And that's why it's important to be mindful of who you give your time, energy, attention, and your money to, okay? The next message that I received was, I heard like a gunshot kind of going off. So just be mindful. This is not meant to make you to be fearful, okay? So just be mindful of this. And I just heard a second ago, there could be people that's kind of like doing that throughout the new year, okay? And some of them could just be trying to do it because they're trying to get your attention, okay? I am going to do a video on talking about commercial ads as well as sounds and all those things like that. And that's something for a lot of people to know if they aren't necessarily aware of it, but that's something to know, because those things like that, they do play a they do affect people in a sense of, and these people, again, they know what they're doing because they're being strategic, okay, in regards to things pertaining to sounds and noise, okay? Anyway, so the next message I received is some of you guys could be stepping into your psychic abilities, and you're going to see things so much crystal, we're in Mercury retrograde, excuse me, crystal clear than you really saw before, okay? So be mindful of that, because I know that there's some people who have the psychic abilities, but sometimes they could be tapping into more so of lower parts of their psychic abilities. So therefore, where they receiving the information that they receive, it's a little off. So therefore, it's a little murky and it's not necessarily clear. And so it could be a little distorted in a sense with the information. It could be a little backwards in a sense. So that's just something to be mindful of, okay? And the next message I wanted to let you guys know, I heard like it was fireworks or something going off like at the school building or whatever. So just be mindful of this, because whether it's a school building or whether it's a situation of coming into the new year, that could be happening as well too. So just be mindful of that, because again, it's going back to the noise in regards to things that just people just be trying to do to get your attention in a sense, okay? This next message came through, it was a song, and it was by Kenny Logan, and it's called This Is It. So I went to look up the lyrics of this song, and I was like, whoa, I haven't heard this song in a minute. But there's always a message when God gives me a message through a song, okay? So basically, this is God telling some of those divine masculines to step up to the plate. This is your time now. No more cowardly, mindsets. It's time for you to step up and step into your birthright and step into your place and have your seat at the table. Because again, there have been people who have been basically kind of profiting off your spiritual gifts that were being given to you by your natural birthright that somebody else has been using. And again, God is trying to put it back in the hands of its rightful owners, okay? The next message I received was, okay, so this next message came through was, some of you guys are gonna, okay, so this is a situation, and some of you guys could be in a situation, this is message not for everyone, okay? Some of you guys could be divinely guided to help, family members or whatever who have been kind of struggling a little bit on this journey in a sense, and they could be older than you, could be younger than you, it doesn't matter the age, okay? But basically, it's almost like some of you guys were being divinely guided to reach back and kind of help these individuals along the way. But you have to understand one thing, that sometimes even people who have crossed over, who have passed on, sometimes their energy will still be lingering around because they have unfinished business. So therefore, if they see someone who is still walking throughout this earthly plane, who their energy field is basically open, it's almost like they feel like, oh, this is a body that I can use in a sense. It's almost like a possession in a sense, okay? Like a possession, being possessed or whatever, but like somebody else's energy jumping into your energy, okay? It just kind of taking over you, and you probably wondering why people act in a certain way, or, family members probably act in a certain way, or doing things out of, doing things out of what they normally wouldn't be doing, that's basically out of their character in a sense. Because again, sometimes it could be a situation of two things that's happening possibly at that time. It could be a situation of, especially if they are on the twin flame journey, it could be their other twin who is wanting to use their energy for their own benefits, or it could be a situation of an ancestor who is there, who has unfinished business and basically is embodying into that person in order to get their agendas done that they couldn't get a chance to finish before they left this earth. Okay, so just be mindful of that as well too. But some people aren't happy about the fact of some people moving on and kind of fixing themselves up and making a conscious effort of, you know, helping other people out, because it's almost like they benefited as long as this person would stay lost and confused in a sense. So as long as they stay lost and confused, then it's almost like they could use their energy or use that body as a vessel to will it how they choose to, in a sense. Okay, so be mindful of that as well too, because that does happen. Okay, especially if you see someone kind of acting out of character. And then the next message I received was, oh, this message is coming through too, like some of you guys be mindful of just protecting your energy from other people. Okay, because there are people out here, they're like energy vampires. You guys can go over to TikTok. I did a video on that some time ago, and I will be doing another video on similar to that in a sense. So if you guys want to check that out as well too, but you're only going to hear it over on TikTok. Okay, so anyway, so it's really important to really just be mindful and protect your energy. Okay, the next message came through. This came through in a form of, there's some people who are in situations to where, let's just say maybe they may have worked for the government in a sense. Okay, and let's just say as they work for the government, and let's just say that time, maybe they're either retired from the government already, or maybe that they're about to retire, or they either are in the government, and basically what is happening here is the Most High is kind of dealing with them right now. Okay, and I say all that to say that again, God is pulling his people out of certain places that they should have never been in from the get-go. Okay, so it's almost like I feel a sense of nervousness in the air. Okay, like to the point that, you know, someone who may not have even thought about smoking weed before, now all of a sudden smokes weed. Okay, because they was trying to, I guess, subside the nervousness in a sense, but not realizing it's kind of a part of the journey in a sense. So, but if any of you guys are kind of dealing with that situation on the journey, you know, again, what I do is helps with energy healing or whatever. So, you know, that basically helps people to kind of work through that type of energy. But I do have that service if you guys would like to check it out. So the next message that I received was, this next message came through, and it was about, okay, so some of you guys may be seeing a situation like maybe your bloodline, particularly some of you. This message may not be for everyone, I just heard, thank you, Spirit. But some of you guys' bloodline, let's just say the younger ones coming up now, let's just say that some of them may have went through some things themselves in a sense. And it's almost like they're stepping into their spiritual gifts a little bit more or whatever. So whatever that you may have went through for obtaining your spiritual gifts is almost like your bloodline behind you, whether it be your kids, your grandkids, or whatever the case may be, or great grandkids. They are starting to experience those same gifts that maybe that you have had, because again, it's part of your birthright. It is part of your bloodline. Okay, so yes, some of them are stepping into their gifts. So it's important to just kind of like it's important for them to step into their gifts, so that way that they have their energy, so that way nobody else is trying to use their energy. Okay, the next message that I received was, this was another song. This song was by SWV, and this song came through like for some of you guys, this message may not resonate with everyone, but it was like, I get so weak in the knees, that song in a sense. Okay, and then I also heard another song as well too, and that song was by Kanye West. And I didn't hear that. I was like, whoa, I didn't hear that in a while. But anyway, but some of you guys are going to be stepping into what I heard was the good life. Okay, so take that how it resonate. And that is because some of you guys, let's just say that, you know, you might have had a lot of stop and go. You might have had a like, nope, blockages. You might have had a lot of nope, can't do this. You can't do that. Nope, nope, nope. Go, go. No, no, go, go, no, no. A lot of the, you know, the Most High is blocking you, stopping you, and protecting you from a lot of different things. But just know and understand that he's going to give you double for your trouble. Okay. So more importantly, this next message that came through, this morning or whatever, and it was basically the Most High. Basically, you guys are going to start seeing situation that's pertaining to, and hey, I'm just a messenger. I'm just giving a message, so don't get upset. And if you get upset, that's not my problem. That's actually your problem, okay? But I'm just delivering a message, okay? Take it how it will. But basically, the Most High is basically about to expose a lot of Christian people, and it's going to be pertaining to some white people in a sense. White people, Caucasian people, however you want to refer to them, the white race, okay? Basically, God is going to expose them in some sort of way that's basically allowing them to see that they truly have been more so, even though they have been more so of the Christian mindset, that they really have been in a more devilish mindset, okay? And I say all that to say that they have been in a more devilish mindset, okay? So anyway, so basically God is going to expose them for that, okay? You're going to see some people being exposed for that. Okay, so anyway, but I'm going to do a message over on TikTok in regards to that, an extended message. So if you guys want to hear that message, you guys can go over to TikTok to hear that message, okay? So oh, the other message that I have as well too is that some of you guys are going to be finding yourself dealing with a situation to where you may find yourself feeling like maybe your sacral area along your waistline, like where you wear your belt at, or pertaining, yeah, usually where you wear your belt at, which is pertaining to your sacral chakra area, okay? It's almost like there was a sense of heaviness there that I've kind of like been picking up on. A sense of heaviness, like some of that energy needs to go because some of you guys are carrying or holding on to dead weight that is not meant to go with you into this next chapter. And you have now, right now, until going into the new year to kind of like release what it is that God is asking you to release, because the last thing you want to do is just drag that energy over to another portal or over the new year in a sense, and you don't want to be finding yourself trying to clear out that energy yet again through another year, okay? So anyway, it's important, okay? But again, sometimes we have to revisit the past, and when we do revisit the past, God is allowing the past to come up so that way that you can heal it, let it go, and be done with it. Because remember, your past, we're in the present now, but just know that you can't move forward until you heal your past so that way that you can have a better future, okay? So this but it's pertaining to some people standing up and having a lot to do with having a stronger backbone, okay? So we know we can have a backbone. We know we can lift some weights or whatever the case may be. And we know that we can feel like we're strong because we get up each and every day. But let's just say that on this journey, it can feel like what you're going through and what your experiences can be to the point that it's, thank you, Spirit, it's like an initiation. An initiation, the I don't want to say the burden, but the crown, thank you, Spirit, the crown can be very heavy in a sense. And I say all that to say that, it's almost like you're going to need to have a strong backbone in order to be able to carry it, okay? So some of you guys, as I said before, you could be dealing with something pertaining to your backbone where you're trying to strengthen it in a sense, because you're going to need it, okay? Because heavy is the crown when you're wearing it or whatever the case may be, okay? Anyway, so just know and understand doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just means that, too much is given, much is required, okay? So anyway, so with that being said, I'm going to, before I end, this was the message that was given to me, okay? And I usually ask God, what message do you have? And this is the message that came to me, okay? As soon as I open up, it pointed out Joel 3, and it was like, it said, for behold, in those days, the topic is judgment for Judah's enemy. Judgment of Judah's enemies, okay? And I say all that to say that God's chosen ones, which is, let's just say that right now we're living out the days of the Bible, but we're living more currently, okay? So a lot of people who have been on this twin flame journey, they have had to deal with lots of enemies along the way, okay? And as if they have had to deal with lots of enemy, whether it was enemies from their own people, whether it be enemies from other races, whether it be enemies from people who had hidden agendas, whether it be enemies from those who saw that they had this crown on their head and they was chosen by God, and they became a little envious, jealous, and had hatred stored up into their hearts or whatever. And, they had a little malice. So therefore, if they looked at God's chosen ones and kind of looked down on them in a sense, when God is like, no, judgment to Judah's enemies. So this is the energy that we, people, you're going to start seeing experience this. So behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Okay. So just think about God's bringing, your enemies, or dealing with your enemies at this time. Okay. And you may see the situation, because what I've noticed and what God has brought to my attention, like, at one point in time, you saw that it was the Asian community that was being under attack in a sense. And, I'm not saying that I condone that, but that's just God at work here. If you have done something, to God's people, this is God vindicating them. And not only is he vindicating them, he's delivering them, because he is basically trying to get people to repent from their sins in a sense. And I say all that to say, to repent for their behavior, for being a certain way towards his chosen ones. Okay. Because as it says, if God be for me, who dare be against me? Okay. And that's talking about his people. So again, God is about to deliver his people. And you may see, again, different people, different races find themselves dealing with different situations, because maybe they may have had their hands into the situation and the equation of they didn't do right by these people. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. But if you guys want to join me over on TikTok for any of the extended message, feel free to do so. But I wish you all much love, much light, into the next message. Bye.